get started with chili con queso. This is an awesome cheese dip, great for gatherings. Every time I make it, it is completely gone by the end of the gathering. We're going to start with an onion and the 4.5 ounce can of chopped green chilies. We have the crushed tomatoes. This one has basil in it. You can use plain or whatever flavoring you want, and this is a 28 ounce. We have 2 8 ounces of the pepper jack cheese. This is medium. You can use hot if you like it a little spicier. And we have Monterey Jack. We're going to use 8 ounces of this. So we're going to use half of this. Then we're going to use a 1/4 cup of the whipping cream. And then the scoops are great to dip it out with. You can use regular Tostitos if you want, but the scoops really hold the cheese dip. So let's get started. We're going to dice up the onions and saute the onions and the green chilies. Okay, our onions have been sauteing for about 8 to 10 minutes, and they're starting to get a little bit of brown on them. So once they start to get a little bit of the brown, we are going to add the green chilies. Now this step is what makes the dip. The longer you cook the onions and the softer the onions are, the more that the dip just blends together. So you really want to take this process through because you want the onions to be tender. It really helps the cheese dip. So we're going to let this sit there and saute a little bit more so we can get those onions good and cooked in there. And then we're going to add the crushed tomatoes. Alright, so these are still cooking. We got it on about level 6, which is like a little over medium heat. We're going to bring it down just a little bit because we don't want them to burn, and still cook them another couple minutes, and then we'll add the basil. Okay, our onions are nice and translucent, which is what we want. So now we're going to add the crushed tomatoes. And we're going to let this simmer over probably 3 for now. Probably turn it down a little bit once it starts to get mixed in. So we'll mix all the ingredients together. And again, we want to take this process slow. We'll simmer it for at least 15 minutes. I like to do it a little bit longer. I like to do it for like 20-25 minutes. Just so those onions get good and cooked. That way they're a lot softer and you don't taste them as much in the crunchy in the cheese dip. Alright, so we got that, and we're going to cover this while we simmer it to keep all the moisture in. And the minimum 15 minutes, but I like to do it 20, sometimes 25 minutes. So we'll let this simmer and we'll come back and check on it on the next step. Alright, let's take a look here. We've got it down on 2.2, so we're going to turn it just even a little bit lower because it is ready to add the cheese. So we've already got our cheese cubed up, and we're just going to add it into the yummy sauce. And then slowly fold it in to get this nice and melted. You don't want to go too fast with this step because you don't want your cheese to burn. So we've got the setting down on 1.8 now, and we're just going to let this slowly melt in and stir it occasionally just to keep the cheese melted in. So we're going to leave this uncovered and let it cook over low heat so this can all melt in, and we'll stir it occasionally. Check back in a few. Alright, here we are on still low heat, 2.2. Time to give it another stir and get all that good cheese mixed in there. Once this is fully melted, then we will add the 1/4 cup of whipping cream just to take away some of the oil that likes to rise to the top, and blends it in and makes it a little bit creamier. So it's looking good. You just want to stir it every couple of minutes so that the cheese does not stick to the bottom, but if you don't have the heat turned up that much, you won't have the cheese to stick. So it's looking pretty good. Next step, when we check back in it to stir it, we will add the whipping cream. Yummy. Okay, now it is time to give it one more quick stir. We've been stirring it a couple times off camera just to keep that cheese from sticking. And now we're going to add the 1/4 cup of whipping cream. And yes, these are made for right-handed people, not left-handed people, but we make do. So we're going to stir in the heavy cream. This is going to take some of the oil that you see and mix it in and make it creamier. Once this is mixed in, you could start eating it now. We like to let it just simmer another few minutes, and then we put it in a fondue pot to serve it. So once all this is mixed in, it is ready to go. Or you can let it simmer for a little bit longer if you're not ready to eat it right away. Or you could turn it off and turn it on later when you warm it up when you're ready. And it's as easy as that. Chili con queso. Here we have it, the final product. Chili con queso, halfway eaten because I didn't get this video done quick enough. And we have the scoops to go in it. Simple, take one, and you're ready to go. See you, y'all.